Hey, what you're about to see is from Rebel Base, IGN's weekly Star Wars show.
So we got loads of feedback, as you can imagine, after The Force Awakens came out. A lot of it is about theories. You can write it to us anytime, rebelbaseign.com. So what I'm going to do is pitch to you 7 theories about Rey.
All right.
So we're going to cover some of the obvious ones, who her parentage is, but then some ones I've not really heard about either, so stick around for those. So first one, and you're going to tell me whether you buy into them or not.
Okay. Charm me.
First one is from Nico Muniz.
Good.
Rey is Luke's daughter.
No.
Okay, but listen a little bit more to it, because it's a bit more than just a regular. He's substantiated.
Okay.
We learn in a flashback from her encounter with Luke, or Anakin's lightsaber, that she was left on the planet by someone. In that scene, Maz Kanata says to Rey...
No, I picked up my tea and it was really hot. Oh, fuck. Carry on, sorry.
In that scene,
sorry,
Maz...
Nico.
Jesus Christ. I have to put up with this.
I'm
Every
listening.
day.
I'm listening.
Every day.
Okay, go on.
In that scene, Maz Kanata says to Rey, "You know the one that left you is not coming back." After being told this, Rey begins to cry. I propose that the person who left her on Jakku will be the canon version of Mara Jade, Luke's wife, and ultimately Rey's mother. To support this, we are never specifically told why she was there or with Luke, why he went into exile. I propose that Luke went into exile after his wife's death, confirming Maz Kanata's comments to Rey. Luke's wife and mother to Rey's death was caused by none other. So basically, Luke's wife was also killed by Ben Solo, Luke's own nephew and apprentice. This killing of Luke's wife was what turned Ben Solo fully to the dark side and also put Luke into exile. So I know we say Mara Jade, the Kellen version, maybe not called Mara Jade, but the equivalent. Luke had a wife.
Right. And
Kylo
Ren killed her?
Kylo Ren killed her.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think it's true.
Just because of the way that Han and Leia are still talking about him. Like, if he'd already done something that terrible.
I think it's implied that he's killed a lot of other young kids, though.
Yeah, I think so. But your auntie, like, and Luke Skywalker's wife, that's a pretty big thing for them to be, because they're kind of like going, oh, he's done this. And
what's worse, killing 10 kids or your auntie?
What's the auntie look like? How old are the kids?
What's the auntie look like?
Yeah, is she a mean auntie or is she nice?
Well, from looks, you know you can't judge people based on what they look like.
Well, if I see a witch, I know a witch.
Do you know that is the essence of prejudice?
Witches look mean. That's all I know. I'm a simple guy. I go by looks.
Some witches are good. Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. Okay.
Go
on.
So I don't buy. I think Luke is too obvious. It's too on the nose, and I also think
it can't be.
Also, if he's like assumed this role of being the new Jedi Master, I think he'd dedicate his life to it and not take a wife.
I think so. I think I said in the last episode, the big conversation where I was just like, I really hope that's not true, because not only are we missing out on Han and Leia having this life, we're also missing out on like Luke having this big life as well with like a wife and stuff, and you can't do that justice in the flashback. And you know, there's never really big flashbacks in Star Wars, and I really don't want flashbacks to be a big part of this film.
Number 2, another obvious theory, well, one that a lot of people go on about is Rey is Kylo Ren's sister. A lot of people suggested this, including William Kirby. So she is the daughter of Han and Leia.
I guess it would explain a lot. It would explain like why she. No, but that's the thing. It doesn't explain a lot. I'm going to go right back on what I said, because one of the things that I saw people saying about this is, oh, it would explain why she knows her way around the Millennium Falcon so well. What? No, like
I think she shows
that's not passed down
she's
genes.
She's just an engineering genius.
Yeah, she's just like really smart.
She built her own speeder.
Also, bear in mind, she's lived where the Millennium Falcon has been for ages, and she's got an intimate knowledge of it, because she's like,
she knows
you could put a compressor on it.
And also, like, he got it from Duquesne, who sold it to this. Like, she knows its history.
Yeah, that's
provenance.
Like, the guy who owns it is her boss. Or slave or wherever, but like that's where she's been all her life. Of course, she knows it.
Yeah.
Like,
also, you know, Leia says to that in that scene. So the exposition scene between her and Han.
Yeah.
The first bit of it on rewatching it is good, and then when it goes into like why I left, that's all not very good.
It's the bit I don't like is when he's telling her how she felt and she's telling him how he felt. Yeah. Like, nobody talks like that.
At the beginning of that dialogue is, she says, the moment we lost him is when we sent him away.
Yeah.
Why would they keep sending their kids away? Yeah. If you've lost one, don't keep sending your kids away. Especially if you yourself were adopted.
Yeah.
You wouldn't send your kids away. And also that ties into the Luke point. I think if she was Luke's child, and you know the Empire was coming back in a new form, and you wanted to keep her safe, where's safer than with Luke Skywalker?
Yeah.
He's Luke Skywalker, man.
So, do you know what's really good about the they sent him away theory is, like, maybe they did send him away and that's where Snoke got hold of him. It's just like, oh shit. Like, he's going a bit naughty, let's send him away. And he got to Snoke, like, oh, we definitely shouldn't send him away, man.
Oh no.
Like,
Awful. Should never send him to boarding school.
yeah.
With a packet of biscuits.
Okay.
Next one, Rey is a Kenobi. Really like this theory. Michael Kincaid, Scott Campbell, lots of people have written this one.
This is something that you text me over Christmas.
Yeah, and then
Christmas Day. He never turns off.
Never on, always on.
Never on.
Never on. What?
Go on.
So there's some people have unpacked this a little bit more and added a bit more detail.
All right.
So the theory goes after Order 66, Obi-Wan goes into hiding on Mandalore and has a thing with Mandalorian Princess Santine.
Yeah.
He never finds out he has a kid. So that's important, the reason that Kenobi doesn't know he had a kid. So he's not been a negligent father. The child kind of gets handed down, people look after her. And eventually, Lor Santeca, who's played by Max von Sydow, and the person who gives Poe the information about Luke is actually the son of Obi-Wan.
Right.
He does favour Alec Guinness. He says he knows so much about the Force because his mother taught him about it, but he never learned the ways of the Force.
Yeah.
After the fall of the Empire, he gives Luke his daughter, and Luke starts to train her until Kylo goes nuts.
Right.
They then put her into hiding on Jakku, knowing how powerful she is, and trying to protect her. 15 years later, Rey touches Luke's lightsaber, and Obi-Wan reaches out to her saying, "Rey, these are your first steps."
Yeah.
So this is what lends this theory much more credence than other ones.
Yeah.
Is they spiced up a bit of dialogue that said "afraid,"
Yeah.
that Alec Guinness delivered, so it
Saying
could say
Rey,
Rey.
yeah.
And they also got Ewan McGregor in to
Yeah.
record the rest of the line. That's a big thing to put in.
That is big.
Like,
I mean-
why him? Like, why not Luke? Very easy to have had Mark Hamill record a bit of dialogue.
Yeah.
But it comes from Obi-Wan.
Specifically,
Strange that it comes from Obi-Wan rather than Luke, if Luke was her teacher.
Out of everything, that's my favourite one.
I do like it as well, and I also think
Because it's a family thing. Like, Star Wars is big on family, but it's not obvious. And I think, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also like, regardless of what you think of the prequels, they exist, they are canon, they are episodes 1 to 3 and
Yeah.
always will be. At the end of 9, if you look back at it and you take the kind of panoramic view, it starts off Anakin and Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
right up into episode 4, and then this kind of Luke Skywalker comes into play and all these other characters. And it's almost like Obi-Wan's the other big character in this whole series. And it'd be a great way to continue this on.
If those films were better, man, like Anakin and Obi-Wan, that could have been amazing.
Well, Marvel are doing a new comic in the new year.
Oh, really?
Based on those two characters
Awesome.
called Anakin and Obi-Wan. And basically, you know, when he says...
Shane Black come in and do the adaptation of it. That'd be awesome.
Say at Christmas. Say at Life Day.
Oh my God.
Because there's that line in Revenge of the Sith when he says, you know, you were my brother, Anakin. I loved you. And I think they're going to show why that is. The Clone Wars does it well as well. So I think that's really, really interesting. This is another good bit of information from James Hare.
Okay.
It would make sense for Daisy Ridley to use her natural English accent if she were to have Obi-Wan as an ancestor, especially since John Boyega has an American accent despite being a Peckham lad. Ewan McGregor being called in to do some voiceover work for the flashback seems a bit much if the characters don't have a strong connection. So it's basically like, why is she English? You know, John Boyega turned his accent. I know that's less kind of compelling, but adds us an element of consistency.
I don't think we should ever, in the Star Wars universe, get bogged down in accents and things like that, because they don't exist in the same way they do in our world.
Yeah.
Because just because someone's like...
It's kind of like David Prowse.
Yeah, like just because, exactly. Just because if it isn't him. But like, if you listen to like some people's dads, just because someone's your father doesn't mean you're going to sound exactly the same as them.
It's a very good point.
Otherwise...
Depends on upbringing.
Exactly, yeah.
Also, very interesting, if you get the Star Wars Force Awakens visual dictionary, there's a lot more in there about Max von Sydow's character, Lor Santeca. He belongs to something called the Church of the Force.
Right.
So in the intervening years where Jedis and Sith have kind of disappeared and the Jedis are non-existent, he's a member of a group that kept the faith, that always believed in this.
Yeah.
you know,
Jehovah's Witnesses.
basically knocking on your door.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the Force? No, it's a
I've
myth.
got to go out, mate.
Like Harrison Ford, like it's all mumbo jumbo, right? And he's always kept the faith, and it makes sense. I think, you know, if you were one of these people, and then Luke Skywalker suddenly turns up on the scene, he's like, "I'm going to start the Jedi Temple again."
Yeah.
You would hire these people to come work for you,
Yeah.
and they'd be part of that kind of enclave.
This is one I really like.
So there's a brand new theory that I've not heard elsewhere.
Yeah.
Rey is Poe Dameron's sister.
Yeah.
This is from Zachary Schultz. At the very end of the last issue of Shattered Empire, which is a comic that fills in Jedi and Force Awakens, right after Jedi by Greg Rucka,
Yeah.
Luke and Poe Dameron's mother, Shara, rescue some Force trees that were from the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, but had been stolen and hidden away by Sidious. Luke only expected there to be one tree, but since there were two, he asked Shara to take the other tree. She and her husband then retired from the Rebel Alliance to raise their son, Poe. He was being cared for by his grandfather during their time in service.
Yeah.
Once they retire, they plant the Force tree in their back garden. Poe was born prior to the tree being planted. I doubt he gained Force abilities from it.
Yeah.
However, it is possible that Shara had another child after the tree had been planted, and that child could have been Rey. Rey could have gained Force abilities and been sent to train with Luke.
I like that.
Yeah, so the Force trees are used in training. I don't think
Yeah.
they automatically make you a Jedi.
Yeah.
But I think that's really interesting, and it brings Poe into play in a different way.
I do like that. The only thing that I don't like about it, like I love the idea of bringing in.
That it
like,
revolves
the
around a
Force
tree.
Tree. No. I really like that idea, and I like that it ties into the comic and stuff like that. The only thing I don't is when it's revealed that Luke is Leia's sister. Like they've had a little bit of time together, and it's like quite a good thing. Whereas if they're revealed now, they've had barely any contact with each other.
Yeah.
There's no emotional tie
You
to,
need to
that
build
relationship.
it, yeah. Like Poe's a great character, but he feels less entwined in the emotion of the movie.
Exactly, and I think like if it was the next film, because we've got to find out who Rey is and where she's from
I think
in
you
the next
do
film.
right away.
Like we've got to find that out, and I think because of that, she's a sister.
There might be a two-tiered reveal. Like in
Yeah.
Jedi, you find out they're brother and sister, so they might hold one thing back to 9. But I think you definitely get a big reveal. And maybe they flip the structure of Empire. Instead of like finding the lineage at the end of the movie, you find it right at top. Just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
'Cause people would be speculating for 18 months by that point.
Can you imagine if it's just like in the
Opening crawl. Oh, great.
Guess who Rey is?
That's what it's called. Episode 8. Guess who Rey is? No, it's called Episode 8. Rey Kenobi.
Yeah. Balls.
So these are where the theories get a little bit more controversial. You ready for this?
Okay.
Rey's descended from Emperor Palpatine.
Okay.
This is from Julian Witt in Germany. What if Rey is actually a descendant of Emperor Palpatine? Luke trained her as a young child and quickly realised her immense potential, but ultimately decided against training her, given her ancestry. Now she comes back to him, and even though he knows that he needs her and that it would be the right thing to do, he gives this young girl a chance. Now, sounds a really far-out theory.
Where did he get her from?
What?
Where did he get her from? Where did Luke get her from?
I don't know that. That's not in there. I don't know. But listen, like it's obviously a really outlandish theory. But there are a couple of bits of corroborating evidence or circumstantial evidence you could throw into the mix.
Okay.
This is from Mr. Pie. Also, Chris Tilly noticed this after watching
Yeah.
the movie. Her fighting style at the end bears a striking resemblance to Palpatine's fighting style, as in that she uses the lightsaber with like a lunging motion quite frequently.
That is only at the beginning of her fight.
Yeah.
Like at the beginning of her fight, she's using it like she's using her staff, because the staff is what she's learned to fight with. So she has this big thing in her hand. She's like, okay, how do I use this thing? I'm gonna lunge with it because I'm used to fighting with a staff, which is how you do it. But then when she awakens properly, she stops doing it like that and uses it more like a saber. So I don't know.
Well done, Dean Strang.
Yeah.
Next, Ross Smith also suggests the musical themes. And you
Yeah.
can go on YouTube and check out a comparison between Palpatine's theme and Rey and Kylo Ren's. And it feels like there's slight leitmotifs from the first part of Palpatine's theme that are incorporated into Rey's, and the end of Palpatine's theme that are kind of incorporated into Kylo Ren's.
Yeah.
And that might be intentional, not to imply
Yeah.
ancestry, just be like, there's a battle going on and...
Yeah, I like the idea of music being used like that, but at the same time, if you listen to a lot of like Hans Zimmer's like big big pieces of music, there's a lot of similarities.
True.
Like, because they use very specific, they use like ways of composing and things
True.
like that.
But I would say that's cross different films. Whereas
Yeah.
doing this, you're doing something with surely a bit more awareness.
Yeah. I hope so. I mean, I
You
think
know,
that's-
something going
Yeah.
in one film, doing something in another film.
Yeah.
Is slightly different than.
There's a couple of
Decomposing
like
a theme.
in the same way that these I've watched this video, and in a couple of ways that the themes are sort of and the motifs are laid out. That is kind of how I've seen a video of like Hans Zimmer's like main themes, and not just the but like the way that he brings in melody and stuff like that. I don't know, but I really like the idea though.
Rey's the daughter of a Jedi that survived Order 66. This is proposed by Owen Graham. So again, it ties her back to some of the older films, but not any of the main characters.
Yeah.
So it gives her origin feels a bit less kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It kind of ties her to stuff we already know about a bit.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, again, if it's some new character, that's just a really long-winded exposition scene.
But then what if it?
Unless it's someone we know.
Well, this is the thing though. But what about when when Ben meets Luke for the first time and he tells him about his father? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not somebody that we know.
But that's literally setting up everything.
But maybe they're setting up something massive.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Don't know. What's this one?
Rey is the new chosen one. Okay, so
She is, I reckon.
Yeah, but there's more to that.
Yeah, I can see. There's 6 points.
Just wait till where this goes, because it's going to end in a crate. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Don't spoil it,
Okay, let's go.
because I've got you in there saying definitely.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you've agreed to this thing where it's going. You jumped the gun. Jesus. Right.
All right. It's from Scott Meltzer.
Scott Meltzer. Leia is Rey's mother. But Han Solo is not her father.
Okay.
Get a load of this. A lot of people have said that already, and it makes sense both in the context of The Force Awakens and the Star Wars saga as a whole. But what about Han? When reading Rey's mind, Kylo Ren says, "You think Han Solo is the father you never had?" What if this statement is more true than either character knows?
Ooh.
What if, like her grandfather before her, Rey literally never had a father? I haven't completely worked out the timeline. It's fine. But here's my best approximation. All right. 1. Luke begins training new Jedi.
Okay.
Leia sends little kid Ben to train with Uncle Luke. Han is heartbroken and terrified by this decision, and he does one.
Why?
Dunno.
That's wrong already because Han doesn't. Sorry, that's wrong already because they sent him away together. Okay,
leave
fine,
criticism
go
to the
on.
end.
Yeah.
It just interrupts the
Okay,
flow of,
okay, of course,
the six-stage theory. Leia becomes inexplicably pregnant. That's what she told Han. And has a daughter. Han and Ben never know. But Luke,
What? Oh, sorry.
do you want to just calm it down a bit? And Luke can sense it through his uniquely strong Force connection to Leia.
Okay.
Snoke seduces Ben to the dark side. Ben and his Ren mate start killing the Jedi trainees.
Yeah.
Prior to disappearing, Luke sends Lor Santeca and R2-D2 to pick up Rey, our last hope, and bring her to a safe place. R2 and Lor Santeca each take part of the map. Luke gives R2 instructions to remain dormant until Rey returns. The assumption is that when she is old enough, Lor Santeca will give her the map and directions to the Resistance. So, where does she come from? Who impregnates Leia? So it's implied.
Yeah.
Some people believe that Darth Plagueis might have created Anakin using the Force. You
Yeah.
know, Plagueis has the ability to manipulate midichlorians
Yeah.
and create life. And does he create Anakin to possibly avenge his death?
I'd be doing that all the time if I could do that.
Anyway, so the theory is, does Snoke possibly use the Force to impregnate Leia? Whoa.
Maybe.
It sounds say maybe when right at the beginning you were like, oh, this is all rubbish.
Well, it's not. I mean, a lot of it is rubbish. I think a lot of it doesn't. But I mean, no theory is rubbish because you know as much as we do. So
So strip away some of this.
yeah,
She could have a similarly mysterious birth,
Yeah.
like Anakin. If we believe she is the new chosen one rather than just a powerful Jedi,
Yeah.
or the best in class, she possibly could only have one parent if they really wanted to mirror Anakin's origin.
yeah. All amazing theories, Daniel. I mean, as I said, there are no wrong theories. You guys have got the same amount of information as we've got, but maybe you've got your own theories. Let us know, rebelbase@ign.com. Who knows? We might even read some of them out next week.